Yes, people, welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. If you're new around here, make sure to smash that subscribe button, smash the like button as well, and of course, get in the comments and let me know your thoughts because Cardiff City awaits the mighty Aston Villa in the FA Cup. And if you can't tell, with my massive smile on my face, I'm excited. I'm excited. The draw, the gods, the footballing gods are in our favour, and we have been blessed with a draw. Now, there is one thing I must say. There is one thing I must say. We must not get too carried away because we saw what happened in the last round. We saw some giant killings. We saw the likes of mighty Liverpool getting knocked out by Plymouth. So I'm not going to sit here and have that same attitude and same mistake where we get ourselves under a giant killing and we end up embarrassing ourselves. But let's be real. Let's be real right now, people. We have been blessed, absolutely blessed, not only with our own draw, but the other draws around in this competition as well. We're going to completely break it down for you. But big up to everyone. Let me know how you're feeling. Smash up that like button. Get in the chat. Big up to the Big C. Says home to Cardiff. I'll be there. Big up to Michael Huggins. Great draw in a moment to give respect to the family of Peter Whittingham. A true. That is a connection there. But listen, I'm going to tell you the scenes right now. I got in at 7, 7:05, sprinted to the TV, put on the one show, and was stood there with Star and Heidi, and we were ready for the FA Cup draw. And literally, as we turned the TV on, they started, and we were going through the balls. And honestly, the way it worked out was unbelievable. And of course, we saw Preston North End come out first, and I was thinking, oh, do you know what? I wanted a Villa home tie. But Preston North End came out, and I said, I'll take Preston North End away, Championship side. Didn't happen. Then we came out as the home side, and I was buzzing. We were buzzing. I was like, get in there. Exactly what I wanted. And Star and Heidi were there with me, side by side, ready to see who he said. I said, please not Man City. Please not Newcastle. Please not Man City. And honestly, when they pulled out Cardiff, the eruption that genuinely, like we had just scored a goal on game day, genuinely a big come on given. And that was the vibe. And I want to know how you guys think. Like, were you giving that? I promise you, it was like Ollie Watkins. It was like Marcus Rashford. It was like Donyell Malen had just scored a banger for us. And that was our reaction. A bit of jumping up and down. Now, obviously, we've got to ground ourselves. Obviously, we've got to put respect on the FA Cup and that giant killings do happen. But, my gosh, if there's ever a year, ever there were football gods, this could be the one. So, people, make sure you're running up the likes on the stream. Big up to everyone. Let's go through this draw. Let's break it down. And I'm going to say this now. You can go back to my reaction when we drew Spurs if you do not believe me. But I'm telling you now, I said if Aston Villa beat Tottenham, I said I can see something magical happening. I actually said I can see us getting to a final. I said I feel like the draws are going to be our way. And my prediction, Aston Villa are going to keep getting home draws. We're going to have Villa Park at home for the next couple of draws, and we're going to go to a level that I cannot believe. But listen, people, here's the draw here. Big up to Retro Leafy in the house. Saying, come on, it's our turn. KBS said it's as a Welsh. This is mad. Captain said, I'm happy it's at home. That is the main thing. The home tie, the home draw was the one. And trust me, no joke when I say this. The atmosphere we had in the kitchen, when we got that draw was unbelievable. As I said, it was like scoring a goal. So let's break it down a little bit more, people. Let's break it down. The ties are to be played on the first weekend of 1st of March. So what I am going to do as well, not only am I going to show you this, but I need to also show you Aston Villa's fixture list in and around this time as well, because we always like to look at it. First thing I said about Spurs is it fell in between Wolves and it fell in between Ipswich in the league. And I thought, do you know what? We like that. It's a nice little, fall of the fixtures. And we're going to have a look at where this tie is going to come in between and how it's going to be played. And again, I think it's been very favourable. Big up to Krim in the house as well. He said, very good draw for us, Josh. If we get past Cardiff, the next stage of at least 3 more Premiership clubs will be out. Exactly that. And I'll repeat myself when I say this. This draw has favoured Aston Villa, not only for our tie, but the other draws around. The fact that Preston North End versus Burnley is an all-championship tie, that is unbelievable for those two clubs. you could see a championship side in there in the 6th round of the FA Cup. But then we go deeper. Crystal Palace Millwall. Now, I tell you what, Crystal Palace Millwall is a beautiful, brilliant little tie. Because Millwall are a really tough side. I'm assuming Crystal Palace are beating Doncaster. I hadn't even checked that score, actually. No disrespect to Donny. But again, even if Donny beat Palace, that's another championship side through into the round. Then we go to the all Premier League sides. Man U, Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, Bournemouth, Wolves. And that, for me, I was hoping Bournemouth would draw Man City at home because I would have backed Bournemouth on that one. But 3 Premier League teams guaranteed to go out. Manchester City have Plymouth. Now, without trying to, put some positivity on it, Plymouth, they've knocked out Brentford. They've knocked out Liverpool. Why can't they knock out mighty Manchester City? Why can't they? Just to put that one into perspective. And then Forest or Exeter versus Ipswich. So again, 4 Premier League teams potentially going out of this FA Cup at this round. If there is ever a year to win the FA Cup now, I'm telling you, especially if the mighty Plymouth come with their Argyle, with their ship, with the Pirates, and go and do the unthinkable. That would be absolute scenes. However, this is Aston Villa. All right? And Aston Villa always have a thing about when it matters or when the going gets tough that we somehow bottle it. And I'm telling you now, Unai. I did a video on it earlier. And if you haven't seen my video, make sure to catch it after. But I did a video where I expressed and talked about the fact that Unai Emery now gets the FA Cup. Unai Emery gets the FA Cup. He is actually showing us that he gets the FA Cup by the team that he put out against Spurs yesterday. Because when I saw Emi Martinez in goal, I knew straight away that this guy is being serious. He is actually going to put out the best team possible to allow us to have the most success in this competition. God bless Unai Emery. And so I'll come back to it again. I know Unai is not going to take Cardiff City lightly, and he will also not be thick and know that this is our time to shine. So I'm going to put that fixture list up again. Now, in the chat, I want you to join in. Let's go to the Premier League fixtures here. Man U v Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, and Bournemouth, Wolves. What are your predictions for those? I'm going to tell you mine now. I think Manchester United are going to go on a crazy FA Cup run. They're the champions. I actually went to the final of Heidi last year. We watched them beat Man City. And I'm going to tell you now, I think Man U will beat Fulham. I think Newcastle will win. I think Bournemouth will win. I'm actually going all 4 of those home sides to win. City, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Man United. Okay? And on our day, I know that we can go from. Does anyone see any giant killings? Does anyone see any upsets in this tie, in this round? If Plymouth were at home, then maybe, just maybe. But I think you can actually predict that every home side wins. Every home side wins in this FA Cup 5th round. Preston, Villa, Palace or Donny, United, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Man City, or Forest or Exeter. Home win frenzy, as Captain said. I actually agree on that. All home ties to win. So, honestly, thank you, footballing gods. We actually had some luck in the draw. We didn't draw Manchester United as early as that. However, I'm going to be really real here right now. Okay? This is quite funny while I'm streaming what Heidi's doing to me. Nothing dodgy, I promise. But she's just trying to measure. I was going to say she's just trying to measure something. Again, sounds even worse than dodgy. But this is what our women do. While I'm streaming, she's absolutely lost her head. All right. If you can actually guess what Heidi's trying to measure next to me right now, and it involves this arm, then yeah. And if you know you in the watch along, you'll know. But yeah, unbelievable what's going on right here, right now. As I'm streaming, the things we do for streaming. But yeah, sorry guys, that's absolutely throwing me. It's not the inside leg measurement either. It was to do with my hand. But yeah, yeah, Glenn's got it. Thank you, Glenn. Honestly, the things you do in the chat. Things you do in here, honestly, I'm streaming. Really important day today, Heidi. Villa drawing Cardiff. We're actually trying to get through, and stream an FA Cup 5th round tie in which Villa have a chance of progressing in. And all of a sudden, my fingers getting ground like that. But that's what we love. That's how your good relationship works. That I can do my work here and she's doing her business, whatever you call it. But yeah, less of that sideways chat right now. Let's get back to the action. All home rings. Big up the HF Army. Chris Baxter saying, can see Silver and Fulham getting a result at Old Trafford, to be fair. Does anyone else fancy Fulham beating Manchester United? They're a weird side, Fulham. They're a weird old side. You never know what to expect. But I've got a feeling that Amaron is going to really go deep in the FA Cup, and we'll see how he's going. Pete said, if you were a FIFA card, you'd be a Silver with a huge upgrade after scoring a hat-trick in Team of the Week. I appreciate it, Pete. I appreciate it. But yeah, listen, if the game is on the Saturday, you'll be up against a fired-up Cardiff. Why is that, Glenn? Why is that on a Saturday, if you can incite me? But yeah, 1st of March. So let me have a look then. Let me have a look at the fixture list, because this is where it falls in between. Now, I did say when we drew Tottenham that I liked the placement of that FA Cup tie. Yes, we absolutely didn't do the business against Wolves, but we have Ipswich this weekend, so I'm hoping that we do beat Ipswich. Oh, St. David's Day. Interesting. They could nick a 2-1. ABFC 85 in the house. Couldn't have asked for better, really. Not a Prem team. We're at home. Perfect. Exactly that, my friend. Exactly that. Guys, make sure you're smashing up the like button for me. I really do appreciate it. And here we go then. So, the fixture list. We play Crystal Palace away, Cardiff at home, Brentford away. Again, the way these fixtures have fallen for me do suggest, again, not a little bad way in between. If that was in between the Chelsea game or Chelsea and Liverpool, for example, if that was a bit above and it was the Liverpool at home, then Chelsea at home, and it was in between there, I wouldn't like it. But it's fallen quite nicely. Now, does anyone know? That's one thing I must ask. Does anyone know when the Champions League next round draws are? Does anyone know when our Champions League next round would be? Please do let me know. Please do let me know. Will we see El Ghazi? Ain't nobody like El Ghazi. Makes me happy. Makes me feel that way. Love that guy. Love that guy. Honestly, I absolutely have so much respect for Anwar El Ghazi. And, you know, he's had a pretty tough time recently with his political views in the last year or so. So, yeah, he got treated unfairly. But yeah, unlucky Pete being a Spurs fan, I really think it's a bad time to be a Spurs fan right now. The Champions League last 16 first leg is on March the 4th or 5th, right after the FA Cup match. Right. Interesting. Chris Baxter has come in clutch here. So let's get this back up. So Chris Baxter is telling me that we have the FA Cup. So let me just line these up. Let me just line these up for you. So you're saying the Champions League last 16 first leg is on March the 4th or 5th, right after the FA Cup. Oh, wow. So it goes FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. What a tough week that is. What a tough week that is, people. FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. Now, Don Unai, how do you rotate? And that's what I want to ask you, chat. Because if this is true, which I've got no doubt Chris Baxter, bless you, would lie to me. Bless you again. Chris Baxter's come in. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it. So the Champions League last 16, first legs on March 4th. So it goes FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. How do we balance this, bless you? How do we balance this? Where do we put all our eggs in? Personally, for me, we're going to need to fit, I think, the FA Cup team. I'm going to say this really, and I want to know if you guys agree with me. I expect full strength FA Cup. I expect to see 1 or 2 rotations in the Champions League, and then the Premier League team is an absolute lottery. But if we go weak in the FA Cup because of the Champions League in mind midweek, I'll be really upset about that. We cannot take this competition for granted. We cannot take Cardiff City for granted. Glenn's already just told us that if it's in and around that weekend, which it is, it's St. David's Day. So there's going to be an extra bit there. There's going to be an extra bit for them. Whether you think it's rubbish or not, there's going to be an extra bit there. But what Liverpool did in Arne Slot is he went to Plymouth and he played Kelleher. He played a makeshift centre half. He played Quansah. He played that Ndoye, the one who wears number 90. He played someone called McConnell. He played Harvey Elliott. It was a really dusty, youthful Liverpool team that essentially didn't deliver. What I don't want to see is when we play Cardiff City. What I don't want to see is the B team out. I want to see 9 out of 10 regular starters against Cardiff City. And the one man I want to see in goal is Emi Martinez. If you haven't learned anything by now at the weekend, Mr. Kinky in goal, the Spurs keeper. We're not talking Kinky under the bed sheets, right? We're talking the Kinky keeper who absolutely had floppy wrists against Jacob Ramsey. Yeah. Jacob Ramsey, with that first-minute goal. Yes, he denied other Jacob Ramsey chances, but the keeper made the difference. I'm still not over that Emi Martinez save against Heung-min Son. Why has that not been spoken enough? It actually reminds me that I think people almost just expect Emi Martinez to make those type of saves now. I actually think people don't realise that sort of save from Emi Martinez is still unbelievable. It doesn't get spoken about because he does it too much. Weston says, I know our record against United and kept poor, but to be fair, United might be an easy game getting Fulham in the next round if we beat Cardiff, of course, and that's the attitude. I'll be honest, avoid Man United in this cup. Managers who are under pressure need to win silverware to relieve it. Look what Erik ten Hag did last season. He relieved himself another half a season or however long till he got sacked because he won that FA Cup. There were rumours of that day that he was going to get sacked if they lost to City on the final day, like they did to Louis van Gaal, but he didn't. Hence why Ange Postecoglou, always win a trophy in my second season syndrome. Hence why he's had to put his neck on the line about that, because the way that Spurs' league form's gone, he had to go on the metric that he was going to bring some silverware. Now he's only got the Europa League. There is going to come a time where Unai Emery, as an Aston Villa manager, will be asked the question, well, Unai, when are you going to deliver a trophy? The same as how Eddie Howe will get asked those questions. Villa and Newcastle are doing wonders, trying to break into that top four, trying to, dismantle the cartel Sky Sports 6. But there will come a time where actually the question will be, okay, we've done 4 or 5 years this now. When are we going to win a trophy? Hence why I'm saying, Unai Emery, you've already got the keys to Villa. You've already got the keys to Aston, to Birmingham, to the land of paradise that is Villa Park. Go win a trophy and you will become immortal. FA Cup is there, Unai. It is there. And the way that draw happened today, it is yours, my friend. It is yours. So I believe that, the FA Cup is really attainable. Now, I'll come to the comments in a minute. Guys, let's get up to 35 likes if we can on the stream. We'd really appreciate that. I made an outrageous comment. After cooking Deji, and if you don't know who Deji is a Tottenham fan. He's someone on social media. He's got absolutely crazy takes. But I cooked him last night on Never a Foul. I gave him a bit of what for, right, about his takes and how he feels about Villa. I also made an outrageous statement, but I actually am going to stick to this, by the way, with Arsenal and Liverpool fans on the show. And hear me out here. I think Villa are going to end up bombing top 4. We may get 5th, but I think 6th probably is achievable now. But I said this. I said Aston Villa will be the deepest English club in the Champions League. Villa fans, are you with me or not? I'm actually going to say this with chest, and I said it with chest. Aston Villa will go deeper than any other English club in the Champions League. Got a feeling. Shish kebab indeed. Got a feeling. Got a feeling that we're going to be Aston Villa Cup FC this season. Got a feeling the FA Cup and the Champions League, we're going to have deep runs in it. Who knows how the Premier League's going to look? I've got no idea. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go and run with it. That we are actually going to go deep in both cup competitions. And we're going to be the deepest in the Champions League out of all the English clubs. I've made some bold statements in my time. I've got some incredibly wrong ones, such as when Newcastle finished top 4 for the first time. That season and pre-season, I said Eddie Howe would get sacked. I said Eddie Howe would be the first manager to be sacked that season. Newcastle go on and get top 4. However, that same season, I said Chelsea to finish 8th, and they did. This season, I have said before ball was kicked that Ange Postecoglou would get sacked. I also said that Chelsea will finish below Villa. Who knows how that's going? But this is my third and bold statement. Aston Villa to be the deepest Champions League side in the competition in the English section. Who knows? If we get Atalanta, they'll knock us out. Yeah, Atalanta are absolutely flying. They are the one to avoid. I'd take Dortmund any day. Um, but yeah, sadly not for the time. I think we lose to Liverpool in the quarters. Who knows with Liverpool? Who knows? I actually think Liverpool are going to be so concentrated on the Premier League and not bottling the Premier League title that they take their foot off all the cups. You know how Liverpool won for the quad, and then all of a sudden they get knocked out of the FA Cup. You know, they got a Carabao Cup final against Newcastle. Just got a feeling that Premier League title is going to mean more than anything. And who knows if they take their outfit. But yeah, Chris Baxter's come in and said a really good point again. Resting players in FA Cup might depend on whether it's an away tie in the Champions League first leg and who the opponent is. Don't want away against Atalanta on Tuesday after Cardiff. 100%. Chris has come in with good comments tonight. So let's just put that fixture list back up. So to sort of paint our picture, it's a really hectic month all of a sudden, chat. It's a really hectic month. Ipswich. Liverpool's a Wednesday night. I had no idea. Okay. I fancy us against Liverpool midweek now. Don't know why. But Liverpool's a midweeker. Ipswich, Liverpool, Chelsea, Palace, Cardiff, Champions League, Brentford. Wow, what a busy couple of weeks indeed. I'm going to say this now. You just don't know. But what Unai Emery has said, I don't know if you saw his interview, Unai Emery has basically said in no about ways that he's expecting the league form to pick up. He's expecting consistency and he's expecting individualness and collectiveness. Basically, Unai knows that the first half of the season has been shite. He knows that we have absolutely let ourselves down in the league form. We've dropped really, really bad points. West Ham, Brighton, Palace, Bournemouth, just to name a few. And I think he knows now. So, thing I'm going to ask you the chat right now. The way that FA Cup fifth round draw's gone, the way the Champions League's gone, the way the Premier League, where's your thoughts and feelings? Do you think Villa can find a way to maintain league form that pushes us into the top 5, top 6 place? Or do you see Villa, like right now, genuine feelings and thoughts with the Cups? Tell me where you think Villa may finish in the league. Where's your thoughts on the league? I'm saying it now. Villa get to the final of the FA Cup. We're going deep in the Champions League. And the Premier League, it's a positive part of me really believes that we could go higher than 6th. But I think I'm going to put it on the line and say we're going to come 6th in the Premier League, which would be Europa League. But we're going to win the Champions League. No, we're not. But we're going to go deep in the Champions League. And so Unai now has the biggest task ever. How do you manage the game time and minutes with big moments? And the only thought I've got is last season, we never managed the Conference League while we were trying to push for top 4. If you think about it, we never managed the Conference League over that double leg while trying to make sure we secure top 4. And in the end, we got top 4 and it almost felt worth it. We've got a better squad this year, 100%. If you remember the back end of last season, our bench was absolutely terrible. And I remember even tweeting, if you can't get a game for Villa now, you're never going to get a game for Villa. There was all those youngsters who were sat on the bench who literally, Unai, the only sub he was using was basically John Duran and Zaniolo. Our squad is so much better. We know that we've built a squad, and if everyone is fit and for the push, we've got hella competition. John McGinn last night has basically changed the dynamic again for me of our midfield. John McGinn is a CDM or nothing now. I don't want to see John McGinn play wide right or play wide left. We don't need him there now. We've got Rashi and Ramsey. We've got Bailey and the Don or Rodgers. If Rodgers gets pushed out wide and Asensio goes 10. I don't want to see John McGinn play the 10 either. John McGinn plays in that double pivot or nothing. So that for me then says this. Double pivot. When we've got all our centre-backs back, we've got Tielemans, Kamara, McGinn, Onana, Barkley. Wow. All of a sudden, wide right. Bailey, Rodgers, Mallon. 10, Asensio, Rodgers. Wide left, Rashford, Ramsey. Up front, Watkins, Mallon. Jeez, Louise. Wow. And now, I said this in my video earlier, I'm not actually that bothered about our defence. I think we're about to see a different Villa. I think we're about to see we're going to outscore you, Aston Villa. No point trying to shut up shop and kill our attacking fluidity when we can just go and outscore a team. I actually get that vibe now. My vibe with Unai Emery is we're going to outscore you because trying to stop goals going in is hard, and it's harder than scoring. So believe me, I think we're going to see a different tune. Lovely says 5th/6. UTFB says FA Cup win, 6th for Europa League and quarterfinal Champions League would be perfect. Love that. Glenn says back in Europe though, and says finishing 5th. ABFC says I don't think we've been totally shite. Not hit the heights last season so far, but we're a couple of late goals away from 4th. Agree. Flan says we'll finish 5th in the league. We've got Villaman 0. All the Welsh will be coming up for ruck against English, no doubt, especially Cardiff boyos. Well, apparently it's St. David's Day, so hopefully they treat that day with respect and they don't go nuts about it. Big up to Matt Park in the house. He says, one of our members, he said, I thought we looked like a team revitalised last night after a shaky run. Great to have McGinn back along with the new signings. Top 4 is still possible. Dare to dream. Love it. Captain says 6th from 2 quarterfinal exits. Ooh. Captain is not having us going deep in the FA Cup. Fair play. I like it. ABFC says we can get a tune out of Rashford and Sensei. I reckon we can still get top 4. Captain says 100%. I'm still bothered. Don't want to be a team like Spurs. Exactly. And when is Powell back? Says Ross. I heard he's back end of this month. Who knows how Powell's going to come back? I've got a bit of concerns about Powell. In terms of his physicality, his pace, his speed, it's never been great. After the injury that Pau Torres has had, you just don't know how he's going to come back. We've got Axel Disasi. I try not to call him Disaster Class because I'm going to give him a chance, chat. I am going to give Disasi a chance. But we've got him as our stopgap. Conser, you know, it's difficult. The shoulders are on him. Mingsy's just cropped. You know, we're going to have to wait and see. Little shout out to Bogard. Although I'm not going to absolutely, laud Bogard, but because he was at fault for the goal, and I'm sick of seeing Villa players switch off at the back post as someone runs off them. But fair play to Bogard. He's played CDM, he's played right back, he's played centre half. He's done an absolute job for us, and a good utility player at that. But look, Villa's defensive issues, while Kamara's there and McGinn's playing like he is, we can survive. But it's all about our attack. It's all about our attack. I think Unai said in his interview that Conte's injury is not as bad as we feared. So there we go. But look, we'll go back to the point how I started the stream. I was in the kitchen with Heidi and Star waiting for the FA Cup draw. And when we got announced Cardiff City, I celebrated, as did they, like we had scored a goal. That's how mad I went. Why? Because I've got an absolute belief. I've got an absolute feeling that this is going to be the year Villa go deep in the FA Cup. And that draw, for me, cemented it. However, we are going to keep our feet grounded. We are going to realise that giant killings can happen. But the fact that we're at home is there. Is there anyone here who genuinely thinks we would bottle it against Cardiff? Is there anyone? Is there anyone? Villa Manzera said, how are we going to outscore teams when we can't put our chances away? Should have buried Spurs 4 or 5, but didn't. We played well, though, so that's positive. Look, I had a chat with, again, my daughter out there, Star, and I said to her, she's a footballer herself, and she's having a bit of a crisis in front of goal at times. Although you wouldn't believe it, she scored 4 at the weekend. But she scored 4 goals at the weekend, but I'm not going to lie to you, she probably could have scored 7 or 8. And it happened the weekend before, where she's getting played through. And the way that I can describe it to her is, you're getting in the positions, you're making these happen yourself, because there is a lot of creativity from herself. And I said, the finishing will come. And I'm saying the same about Jacob Ramsey, and I'm saying the same about Morgan Rogers and Ollie Watkins. If Villa are creating these chances, one day, it's just going to fly in, and we're going to score 6 or 7. I'm telling you, I think Villa are one performance away from absolutely dismantling a team 5+ goals. I don't know if anyone else feels that. But I feel after watching yesterday, if we click like that, I reckon we're one performance away from a 5 goal plus. With Rashford, with Asensio, with Rodgers, with Watkins, with Malen, there's a killer instinct about us. So, look, getting into the positions is absolutely golden. Converting them is where you earn your big money. That's where the big players get paid the big bucks. Okay. And that's why Erling Haaland, whether you hate him or not, whether he has 0 touches on the ball or not, that guy's always going to be on mega money. That guy's always going to be wanted because of his instinct in front of goal. Jack Rowley says, if we beat Cardiff, we win the quarters. I think it's the 6th round next down the quarters. Am I right in saying that, chat? If I was to eliminate, there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, the quarters is next, isn't it? If I've done that wrong, all of a sudden, if there's 8 teams left, it's the quarterfinals, isn't it? Because you eliminate half of them, which is 4, which is semi-finals. Yes, the quarters next. It's the quarters next. But yeah, trouble at Villa Park. Well, listen, I'm not going to lie. No offense to anyone who's Welsh, but we're not going to be scared of some, Welsh ultras or whatever. When we've had the Polish ultras last season, we've had some absolute nuts fans from European teams come and knock on our doorstep, and we weren't scared of them, were we? We weren't scared of them. So look, all is good in that. But yeah, hope everyone is good. Hope everyone's well. We are going to wrap up the stream in a minute. It's a little bit FA Cup reaction. What day is it tomorrow? Tuesday. No. It's Tuesday. Again, we will try and get out some content tomorrow. As I said, the aim of this channel is to be consistent. Heidi's in my ear about it. I need to be consistent, don't I, love? Yeah. Yeah, and she's not having it any other way. And that's why she's sat here with me now, supporting me. I've got to be consistent. I've got to keep trying to do these live streams. If you do enjoy these live talk shows, then make sure you have your notification bell on. Make sure you're ready to rock and roll. Because I just want to chat Villa. I also do have a new series that I'm going to release, videos. I've told some of you about it before, but it's about rent-free 11s. I'm going to be giving you my rent-free 11 players who are absolutely rent-free in my head, who I cannot stand. And the plan from there on is to then go and start with a Villa series, where I'm going to go get Villa content creators to record a video with me, one by one, and let me have their Villa rent-free 11s, and then we'll go for other content creators. So it's something a little bit different on the channel as well. But everyone has players they can't stand. Bruno Fernandes. And yeah, we all would love to know each other's rent-free 11. So yeah, absolutely a new series that we're going to be doing. We're going to be going live most days now, trying to talk Villa, anything Villa, because we all love Villa. Glenn says, not the friendliest fans, but their cops are as hard as nails. Don't let them get away with anything. That's what we love to see. And cheers, Glenn, for the insight. But there's only one team in Wales, don't we, Glenn? Not the Wrexham. But what we've got, Jay, who starts that front next game? Watkins, Malen, or Rashford? All 3, Matt. Malen right, Rash on the left, Ollie up top. So my dream Villa front 4, if everyone was fit, Watkins up front, Rashy wide left, Asensio 10, Rodgers wide right. Hear me out. Rodgers doesn't like playing out wide, but Rodgers basically has a free role as Garcia bombs on. I would love to see it. Inject it in it with the likes of Bailey, Ramsey and Malen off the bench is absolute sauce. It's absolute peri Nando's. We absolutely love it. So yeah, there we go. People, we're going to wrap up. Up the bloody Villa. God knows what we'll talk about tomorrow, but we'll always find something Villa related. And yeah, 5th round draw couldn't have gone any better. Guaranteed 3 Premier League teams to be knocked out, maybe 4 if Forest beat Exeter with Ipswich. The draw's open. Is this going to be our year? Big up to Glenn. Big up to Villaman Zero. Big up to AVSC 85. Big up to Matt Parker. Big up to Jack Rowley, Ross Collins, Captain Hindsight. Big up to Captain. Big up Love Bleeds, UTFV, Flange, Michael Huggins, Chris Baxter, Mustafa, everyone else who's been commenting or just listening to. Big up to Heidi for watching me. And of course, I've got to shout out this channel as well. She's going to kill me if not, but her channel's so hard to find. I've got to do it quickly. Give me a second. She won't be happy if I don't. See, I can't find it. Every time I type in your name. I've got to put the at. We've got to change that. There it is. Right, please go subscribe to my daughter's channel. She's got a shorts channel, okay? Please go subscribe. It will make her day. She's on 130 4. Can you go subscribe to @purely.number7? I would love to see that at 140 subscribers. You've got YouTube. It's just one click. She does YouTube shorts every day. She's grinding. She's on the road. Please go subscribe to her little YouTube channel with her shorts. Please, please, please. I want to see 140 subscribers on that by the time we finish. I'm going to plug it for her. And I want to see you subscribe to that channel. Please take the time to do it. I'd massively appreciate it. I'm going to redirect you as well. I'm going to get started into the habit of redirecting because I think it helps people. And it's good. Be a good Samaritan. I think there's another Villa channel live right now. If you don't know already, that it says, if it lets me, he said, trying to look at me, I'm trying to be nice and it's not even working. Look at that, it's not even working. It's not even working. I was trying to do a redirect, but it's not letting me do it. I'm waffling now as well. Oh, she's got 136. Yeah, 4 more people. 4 more people to subscribe to her. That would be crazy good. I was going to redirect you to the Villa Park podcast, but it's not actually letting me do it. The Villa Park podcast. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Yeah. Redirect privileges needed. Oh, they won't let you redirect. Some people have don't let you redirect. There we go. I won't be them. So there we go, people. I'm out of here. Big up to everyone. Thank you to people who have subscribed to this channel. Big up purely. In fact, I'm gonna let me just refresh it one more time. See if she's on 140. She's on 136. 4 more people. 4 more people. Big up to Brummy Gaz who's done it for her. That's made a day. She's got a massive smile on her face. You're going to make a young dream happen. Big up. 137, 3 more. Big up to you guys. All right, I'm out of here. Love the AVFTS clan. I'm out of here. Ta-da.